This is Let's Talk Teens, a parenting podcast sharing tips on raising amazing teenagers. We are both certified life coaches that have worked with teenagers as coaches, mentors, and teachers. We are sharing what we have found to work best when dealing with teens and tough issues. This is Abbi and Cheree, Let's Talk Teens, episode 55. 5 things your teen needs from you but won't ask for.
Hey, Abby, wouldn't it be so nice if our kids always just like told us what they needed? Just like, hey, this is what I need, or this is where I'm at, or this is what I'm going through. And we wouldn't have to try to guess.
Oh,
But
I'd love that for myself to
yeah,
know what I want to go through.
with our little kids, with our teenagers, with our young adults, it would be so nice. But Abby and I would really like to help you parents out, try to help you not have that guessing game as much and just know 5 things your teens really would like, and then you can know, and they don't have to support because they probably won't, right? Okay, number one, I think our kids just really want us to stay calm, especially when they're not. They don't need us to match their chaos. I think they want us to model steadiness and not freak out when they're freaking out.
I would go further than they like to say, oh, a teen needs that from their parents. Like we should expect that from parents. Like that's our role as a parent is to be that calm in the storm and to help them kind of gauge what's okay and what's not okay, right? We do that when we're little. Am I really hurt? Am I not? Well, that's based off of mom or dad's reaction. That doesn't go away when we're a teen, right? So,
Mhm.
them failing a test, right? We've got to be that calm in that storm to help them regulate those really big emotions.
Absolutely. And I think it is easier to do for the most part when our kids are younger until it just like, gets to us after so long. But, they get hurt or they cause a problem and we're like, okay, let's calm down. But then for some reason, as our kids get older and their problems get bigger and it seems more like life altering, I guess, it's so easy for us to get caught up in that storm. And so I just think it is that regulating our emotions, being calm, helping if we're steady, they can, have that little freak out and then they're going to learn how to also go to the steadiness. And so, they're going to learn from our what we model. And I just think they're going to work through it faster if they're not having to not only navigate their own emotions, they're trying to navigate ours because we're so big in our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number two, I think our kids, our teens, they need boundaries, not just freedom. Like they think they just want to like have like a free for all, no rules, no anything. But I actually think they need boundaries. It's been shown and proven that boundaries actually show love, not control. It says, I care about you. Want you to feel safe. And teens feel safer when someone is steering, even though they might throw it to you all the time. Why I don't get to do this, and why are you so strict, and why do you have these rules, and you're just so controlling. I think they really are like, please hold boundaries for me because then I know I'm loved and I'm going to be safe.
Oh, yes. And what's crazy is your teen isn't going to ask for this, right? Like there's no way they would know, oh, I need that. And they're always going to push back and be like, I wish you would let me do all these things, right? But boundaries are that very real proof that my parents love me. Um, they're so protective, right, of our youth. And youth need to know they're not in charge, right? They need to know that deep in their bones. And actually, we would think, oh, well, that's not a great feeling, right? To know I'm not in charge. Actually, it's the best feeling in the world for a teen to know, guess what? My parents got me, right? And I'm not in charge. And I am not the end all be all in this world because if they really think that and they really have, I don't know, taken on some of those roles and responsibilities, it's not good because when they fall, when they make mistakes, there's nobody there to catch them and to help them with that. So, yes, I also feel like boundaries are a real big buzzword. And I'm
Yes.
I'm actually glad because I think as parenting, we all styles come in and out of parenting. The style that's been in for so long is just talking, talking, talking about emotions and what's going on with your youth. And that's great, right? We should do that. But we have to back it up with those boundaries or it means nothing.
Yes. And I think we need to like I like to kind of clarify what having a boundary means because it is a buzzword and there are a lot of thoughts and confusion about boundaries. But the way I like to look at boundaries is when we set boundaries, they're never against another person. They're actually for. They're to help and keep safety and they're for individuals to avoid things that could really cause some harm. It's never boundaries are never set to be like, oh, I'm trying to hurt you or I'm trying to punish you. It's done with love. And I think that's really important. Like to keep people emotionally, mentally, and physically safe. And it's done with love. Okay. Number three, our teens need repair after conflict.
Mm.
And I think it's so big when us parents can say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I love you. Let's try again. And, or even like, I didn't handle that the way I wanted to handle that as a parent. I am really sorry. And that's not saying that your teen wasn't wrong or that your teen didn't have a part to play in it. It's saying, I'm going to take my responsibility and I really want to redo this. And I think this teaches our teens that emotional responsibility that we all are humans. We're all going to lose it sometimes or not show up as our best self, but we can repair that we can come to the table and own that and say, okay, what do we need to do to repair this and to fix this? And I'm going to start by saying, here's my part in it, and I'm so sorry. Can we talk about this? Can we make this right?
I had to do this last night, Cheree. I I really lost it with my kids, and I think the part that was hard for me in this situation is sometimes I lose it and I'm like, oh, that was nobody's fault but my own, right? And so that I feel like that's easier to repair. When I lost it yesterday with my kids, it's because they really were behaving in a way that wasn't okay, right? And so I think sometimes we have it in our head, well, I'm not going to say I'm sorry because they deserved it, right? Or this is, and so it took me calming down because I was in that place of like, yeah, they were being brats. Like they deserved that I came down harsh on them. And so you don't have to apologize for holding that boundary, but I did apologize to my kids about, hey, I don't like how I showed up. I don't like how I was mad at you. I don't like how I was yelling and upset. But we also, as a family, we're going to do better, right? And so
Yes.
that was a really, and guess what? I have to do that all the time. I have to do that all the time.
But you get to do that because as you get to do that with your kids, like just think of that. I just think that skill you're teaching them and how to like, show up in the world of that, taking that responsibility and owning our mistakes and then working to be better. And I think like one thing as a parent I really learned is, boy, as my kids were younger and even teens, like I did the best I could. And I can now do better because I know more and I have had more experiences and then I want to do better. And so like, oh, I did the best I could. Like, sorry. It's like, okay, maybe I did the best I knew how at that time, but I want to keep learning and I want to keep getting better and I want to keep learning how to show as my best self. And so when I don't, I want to own that, oh, I didn't do as well as I wanted to. And I want to do better. And I want to do better moving forward. And this is something I'm going to really work on.
Mm.
I just think it's empowering for children, for teens, for young adults to hear that. Okay, number four, I think our teens want validation, not solutions all the time. They don't necessarily want to hear like how we need to fix it. I think they need to hear, oh my gosh, I see you in this. Like I can understand why you're overwhelmed or you're upset or why you're struggling. Not like, okay, here, this is what you need to do. Let's get you out of this situation. Let's find a solution. Let's fix this. I think they just sometimes need to be validated that they're having a normal experience. They don't want you to fix it. They just want to feel seen.
Well, and sometimes we unintentionally still their self-esteem because we do it for them,
Yes.
right? And so letting them figure things out is actually helping them improve their self-esteem as well, because then they can look back and go, okay, I did that, right? Now we
Mm.
don't want to leave our teens dangling off the edge of a cliff, right? Like we are there to support, but don't do too much for them, right? Or we're going to rob them of their self-esteem.
Yeah, I always think one of the best things we can do as parents in that situation when they're struggling is validate them, listen, and then say, or even say at the beginning, did you want, what do you need most from me right now? Do you need me to listen, or did you need ideas, or solutions, or do you have this? Like, giving it to them to decide what they really need most in that. Do they want just listening? Do they want solutions? And then we're letting them kind of drive that conversation. And I think that helps build their confidence that we trust them,
Mhm.
that we know it, that they know what they need most. Okay. And number five, this one may be surprising, but I think our kids need to know that we like them, not just love them. I think it's just kind of this given rule of like, oh, my parents love me. Of course they have to. They have to love me. But I think for us to let our kids know we really actually enjoy being around them, or there's things that we really like about them, and not just assume that they know that comes with that we love them, that we also like them.
Mhm.
So to say something to them like, I think we say after, I love you, but to have a very specific, like, you know what I just like about you? You know what's so likable about you? Do you know why I just like hanging out with you? I just like this about you. And I think that kind of reaches them in a different way and maybe a deeper way because they're used to us being like, oh, I love you, son, or I love you to our
Yes,
daughters,
yes.
instead of like, I really like you and you are a likable person. And I think they need to hear that from us and why they're likable.
I love that. I was thinking of the example of I I've always had um like my own little sense of style, and I remember now as I look back at like junior high and what I was wearing, I was just like, "Oh my gosh," right? But I think what's so cool about that is when I was like, "Mom, I can't believe you'd let me wear this." And she was like, "Oh, I love your style. Like I loved your style." And I always knew that as a kid that my mom supported my really kind of weird I'm wearing a Nightmare Before Christmas jacket every day and a piano belt like kind of style. And so yeah, saying things to your youth like, dude, I love your style, or man, you're just so good at this, right? Like it
Mhm.
does. It catches them in a different way from just the I love yous, which we should slather them with, but they become a little bit mundane versus, yeah, let me tell you what is so likable about you. Like I love your humor, right? And
Mm.
find those things to talk to your youth about because it makes a huge difference.
Yes, it really does. So try these five things. Your teens might act annoyed, totally indifferent, or I don't know. But secretly, down inside, I think they love it. Underneath, they want to be close to you and they want to feel loved by you. And I really do think all these things also helps, like we've talked about before, helps them grow their confidence and that sense of security that comes from us when we just do these five things.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Teens with Cheree Murdock and Abbi Winslow. If you are looking for more tips to help your teenager, here's where you can find us. You can find Cheree Murdock on Instagram at Cheree Murdock Coaching or on her website, ChereeMurdock.com. You can find me, Abbi, on Instagram as Abbi Winslow or on my website, AbbiWinslow.com. Please rate and review our podcast and share with a fellow parent. Thanks for listening.